A heightened security that includes a drone and kite flying ban. Nothing has been left to chance as Beijing gets ready to hold that massive military parade tomorrow. Authorities say they will minimize disruptions, but how do residents feel? CNA's Tan Si-hui with this report.
Driving around Beijing, it's clear that final preparations for the September 3rd military parade are in full swing. The area around Tiananmen Square, the heart of all the action, you can already see audience stands and camera positions all in place. Flower displays and other decorations have also gone up in the city center. Many snapping photos now before roads in the vicinity close ahead of the parade. Trains will also skip stops in this part of town. Chang'an Avenue is the main boulevard that leads to Tiananmen. And this is where troops will line up and military hardware will roll through. Now, along this route, buildings such as shopping malls and offices will face strict security requirements. Bags have to be scanned, and everyone has to pass through metal detectors to enter. Many buildings off limits from September 1st, with items deemed dangerous, including hairspray and scissors, banned from the premises till after the parade.
因为那个是国家大事嘛，那我那天不方便，我就不去那边，我就在家里看就好了。
对，会封路。但是我们因为上一次阅兵的时候，我们也是从那儿看的，所以这次也可以。
With many world leaders set to attend, the stakes are high. Beijing residents have faced disruptions over many weekends in August as large-scale rehearsals took place in the city, also giving them a glimpse of what to expect. This parade square is about an hour's drive away from Tiananmen Square, where the big parade is set to happen, and it is just one of the sites where we see all the preparatory work. Tens of thousands of people and hundreds of aircraft mobilized to be inspected by Chinese President Xi Jinping and watched by millions at home and abroad. A ban on drones, kites, balloons, and other objects that could affect flight safety is also in place in many districts. Tan Si-hui, CNA, Beijing.
The military parade at Beijing's Tiananmen Square will be keenly watched for what it suggests on several fronts. Shifting diplomatic allegiances, one concern. Another would be advances in weaponry, with the People's Liberation Army on a bid to reform and modernize under President Xi Jinping. We ask defense analysts what should get attention at tomorrow's parade.
Military parades are serve the same function as fangs on a predator. It is a form of deterrence. Military parade is an opportunity for countries to showcase their military capabilities without being too overt about it. If you were to look at the last parade that they had, that was when they displayed some of their latest intercontinental ballistic missiles, some of which are able to hit the continental United States.
记者从中国人民抗日战争暨世界北京天安门地区举行了纪念中国人民抗日战争暨世界反法西斯上第一次综合演练，包括纪念大会仪式等内容，重点磨合了纪念大会。
In my years of studying history, military history especially, I have never seen a country modernize its military as fast as China. So I think this is the kind of reflection that you're going to be seeing in the parade. A lot more strategic systems, a lot more up-to-date modern systems that are suited for the battlefield today, including drones, anti-drone equipment, unmanned systems. So one of the military hardware that I'll be looking at very closely is this submarine-launched ballistic missile known as a JL-3. We know that it exists, but China has not really publicly displayed this weapon in a military parade before. And this weapon is very important because it not only has a range of more than 10,000 kilometers, it is able to take on multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. But most importantly, it can be launched from a submarine, which changes the calculations on how they deal with a nuclear power, like the US. Other than that, I will be looking out for unmanned aerial vehicles that are going to be like the loyal wingmen. These are UAVs that are not just used for observation or strike. These are UAVs that with actual air combat capabilities, that will be able to complement some of the air combat operations taken on by the pilots today.
The U.S. thinks China is very powerful. China wants to be powerful relative to the U.S. Xi Jinping has said he wants the PLA to be a world-class military by mid-century. But in reality, despite some recent advances in power projection capability, the most important audience for Chinese power are those within the Asia-Pacific. And of those, the most important ones are Taiwan and Japan. And to a lesser extent, the remainder of the American allies, Australia, Korea, Philippines, and Thailand.
We are living in an era where China has actually exceeded the Americans in terms of certain metrics. For example, they now have a lot more warships than the Americans have. They already have more troops than any country on Earth. China is very keen to show that it has the ability to defend itself. It has the military hardware to back up its rhetoric, and it will not be broken up by external powers, especially with regards to the unification with Taiwan. To be frank, with the current capabilities that they have, the Chinese are not able to take Taiwan yet. And the invasion of Taiwan will require the dispensing of amphibious assault ships, very close coordination with air support elements, and most importantly, a very network warfare kind of force. We have yet to see evidence of China being able to work as a network force, capable of hitting Taiwan in a cohesive manner, as cohesive as the Western armies have done in exercises.
The most significant impediment to judging the PLA as a powerful military is that it has no combat experience for almost a half of a century. The gap between the United States military capabilities and that of China is growing over the last 25 years because the United States was involved in 2 wars for that period of time. And irrespective of what we think about the wars, when you fight wars, generally you get better at fighting wars. And so the PLA has no relevant combat experience.
There is a bit of a renaissance or an arms race in the region in China. The uncertainty that China has caused to this part of the world is a major factor that has driven this. And as China is modernizing, I think the countries around China are now modernizing almost as fast, if not faster than China has done.